Green Girl, back again for another DRC Couch Talk with the one and only
your boy TJ, man. Y'all know what's going on. We have a special guest for you guys today. This is a special guest from this is like a real dear close friend to me, y'all. So I just want to introduce her as a amazing runway fashion model. Also, she does commercial and print, man. This girl is killing shit daily, man. Out in this data scene and nationally, man. I want to introduce my own girl, Mariska.
Yes!
Hey, what's poppin'?
Papa Squad. Okay, TJ, you kick it off. This your friend, so you gotta introduce.
Man. For the people who don't know, man, this is a amazing young lady here. We actually did a Modeling Talent Expo together, maybe 2 years ago. Things were it was the beginning for us. So it was man, we didn't know how things were gonna turn out. We didn't know where things were gonna go. We just went in with faith, and we was like, man, we finna get this shit all. We finna just kill it. And we came out signed, and we
grateful.
Booked, busy, and she when I say y'all, she booked and busy, billboards, TV, shade room.
Okay, don't get let him to the own horn. Wait, okay, so talk to us a little bit about how did you get into modeling? How did that manifest into your life?
So I've always wanted to be a model.
Okay.
I know that's typical, how people start. I've always known I wanted to be that, but I really always known I wanted to be a model. And of course, I'm not from here. For those who don't know, I'm from Central Africa, especially Cameroon. I moved here 5 years ago for school. I just graduated 2 weeks ago with my bachelor's in biology, Yeah, I also recently started my real estate school. Of course, I'm also a full-time model. So for me, of course, modeling has always been a dream of mine, and I've always wanted to pursue a career, especially when I came to the US, because where I'm from is not really a career. It's not really recognized like a job. And with the parents that I have, it was you need to get educated. And of course, back then I was like, no, I want to be a model, education, what, But then, of course, when you grow, you're like, I need that degree, I need to get that achievement for myself. And, I want to be like Beauty and Brain Gang, you know what I mean? So, but then I looked up into modeling, I think my junior year, when prior to graduating, I started looking into modeling, and that's how I met then my mother agent. That was J3 Production. That's where I also met DJ, my brother now. Okay. And so we went to a talent expo, and it was amazing. And before the whole process, I actually signed with my agent, Dragonfly Agency, which I've been signed with them ever since then. And after the expo, you go through this whole process with a group of people, and after that we kind of had this little J3 family going on. And I still talk to a lot of DJs right here, so so I still talk to a lot of my friends back then. We all have different journeys. Some of us are taking more on their corporate job series, some of us have gravitated more to the creative aspect, but we still, in the midst of all of us doing something else, we still connect with that experience. And so after that experience, it gave me a little, experience of what to expect with modeling. And so after that, I kept going to castings and all that with my agent now. And so they've been pushing me ever since. And it's crazy. It's only been a year and a half since I professionally started modeling. And I just got my first summer campaign going on right now, and not nationwide. So I'm definitely very yes.
So let's hear from the models, the models here, so we can all educate ourselves. So what's one thing that both of you guys maybe thought from the outside of modeling you thought was really easy, but it actually took you a little bit of time to master for yourself? Let's start with TJ, since the male model.
For me, the biggest thing I feel like I had to understand in the industry was the business side of things. It's more than just getting in front of a camera and posing and thinking you're a model, and the way things are behind the scenes, people don't see that side. No, it's actually paperwork that come into this. You got to read contracts, you got to talk to agents, you got to go through the process of what it's like to get paid net 30, maybe net 90. You never know. So that process for me was like, okay, this is different than just being on Instagram and posting and doing like, you know, content for brands. And you know, not to, you know, throw shade at any influencers because they do amazing as well. Mm-hmm. But it's two different lanes. Like being a model and actor, things are very, very like by the book. And I kind of respect it because it kind of gives me that structure that I needed to be business structure even on my creative side. It kind of just helped me navigate through this on taking this even serious and not just feeling like, oh, my creativeness is a hobby. Now, like, this is like it's like a job. Like, you got to take it serious. It's nitty gritty. Like, you don't just let people come in and just do whatever. Now, we don't move like that. We move militant. We move with, you know, swag. We move with a little finesse a little bit.
Okay. From the girl herself, what's something challenging?
I think for me, it's the way that professional models make it look so easy from the outside, to be honest. Because when you look at, let's say for example, runway, you look at these models and the 15 or 10 seconds that they get on the runway, you don't imagine the struggle or the mental, you know, capacity that it took for them to even be on that runway. You know, some of them, they just had the biggest fight of their life, or like they are homeless. Some of them are homeless. Some of them have like blisters on their shoes. But then the fact that 15 seconds on the runway, you can never imagine. You're like, oh my God, that girl, she got her life together. You're like, I want to be like her. And then when you actually become a model, you're like, no. Like, I barely got like, you know, like, I barely got my life together, but, you know, it's just, and then from the outside, it seems very easy. Or for even commercial work, you know, commercial, you're like, oh my God, that girl seems so happy. You know, you go on the Gap website, you see this little girl smiling and this girl, like, you're like, hey, and then you're like, you don't know what it took to get that shot. Like, you don't know. Like, that girl probably jumped on him, like, okay, smile, you know? So it's like...
So everything that you've accomplished with modeling as well and even attending school for a period of time while you were kind of managing both, do you feel like it's helped you structure and compartmentalize your life and be able to be like, okay, here I'm focused on school, but then when I get to the set, I have to focus on this, and when I'm with my friends, I gotta focus on this? Or is it like, does it all kind of mesh together sometimes?
Yeah, so... honestly, it did kind of mesh together at some point, and you know, people always think that like, yeah, I'll do 16 things at the same time, and I got this. Like, it's like, yes, let's go. You know, it sounds easier said than done. You know, when you actually have 16 different things to do, you're like, oh my God. You know, you go into panic mode, and I think for me, I was smart of myself to wait until my last year of school to start taking modeling seriously, because I felt like if I had started it like 5 years ago when I was a fresh, newly graduate of high school, I probably would have lost my mind, to be honest, you know. So I felt like just because I have already had the maturity of school for those 3 years, like I was structured with the set schedule. You have this time to do, like, you know, the school mindset. I just brought that school mindset into my business too, you know, and so it has kind of like helped me a little bit for sure. Yeah, but it did kind of mesh together, and those times, you know, that's when I'm like mentally not able to put myself 100% in everything I do. But of course, when you go on set, you have to kind of, you know what people say, when you go to work, leave every issue that you have at the door. You do your job. When you get out, you can pick up your bag in your car. You know, like, okay, you can go back and think about, oh my God, what I'm gonna eat today. Like on set, you're Beyonce. That's what it is. Like, you're Beyonce's sister on set. You know, so yeah. So I feel like, of course, modeling is, you know.
So we're not at DRC, it's for the creators, man. So I want to hear from you two to kind of close us out of, how do you feel that modeling gives you the ability to express your creativity? How is modeling an outlet for you to be creative?
DJ, you gonna start? Don't look like that.
In my personal opinion, I feel as if the way we get to be creative is our modeling, our poses, our style, and everything that comes with being in front of that camera is us expressing what we can't say every day. We're not a poet, or we're not a rapper or something like that. So when we get to let go and let loose of what we have inside of us, in front of the camera that's us speaking our volume?
For me, I would say my expression with modeling is kind of a little deeper than that because, of course, as an African girl, you know, we don't have a lot of freedom of speech as in America, you know, like freedom of speech is like what someone's right? It's a good position here. Back home, I mean, sure it is, but it's more like on the thread, you know what I mean? So it's like men can barely have an opinion, so you can only think about us women. And so I felt like I was talking via my body sometimes, like I'm expressing how I feel and my emotions via my body and my movement. And so sometimes when I don't have to talk, I just get in front of my camera and I just pause and learn about my body. It's kind of for me, it's a way of talking to myself, like I'm affirming to myself that I'm okay, you know, like claiming, you know, like I'm very much into spiritual manifestation, affirmation, and for me, modeling has really helped like make me love myself and express myself differently, especially depending on my emotions and the energy that I receive around me, for sure.
That's good. That's deep. Okay. Any closing words for the people? Anything you want to let them know about yourself before we get out of here?
So I mean, I just want to encourage everyone, you know, if you want to be a model, don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. As long as you know yourself, you know what you can do. So as long as you trust your abilities and your talent, even if someone don't believe in you right now, you're going to prove that person wrong as long as you believe in yourself. That's just what it is.
You heard it from the couch. That's all we got this week, folks. We'll see you on the next episode of Couch Talk. Peace.